Drake is the biggest sore loser in modern rap history. Today we need to talk about Drake filing a lawsuit of sort against UMG, Spotify, and iHeartRadio for artificially inflating Kendrick Lamar's numbers behind the song Not Like Us. Drake is feeling some type of way and he's taking this beef to the legal courts. First, in order to do this, Drake is filing a petition and he's sending it to the courts. First of all, I think it's very important to understand that before we move on with the video, that this isn't a full-blown lawsuit yet. What Drake is filing is known as a petition. It's almost like a pre-lawsuit, if you will. Basically, what this petition is basically him requesting to the courts, hey, listen, I feel that these things are happening, but I can't get the evidence that I need unless I sit down with the corporate heads at Spotify, Universal Music Group, and iHeartRadio. You need to order these companies to sit down with me and give the documents that I need to strengthen my case. This is basically what Drake is doing right now. This isn't Drake pulling the trigger and say, hey, I'm suing you. This is more so right now Drake just getting all of his cards together before he can say, all right, I'm going to sue you because I feel as if there are some shady business practices going on. You're conspiring against me. You are favoring Kendrick Lamar over me, and that's hurting my business, so I'm suing you. It's not a full-blown lawsuit, but if Drake gets enough evidence and if the stars align in some way, shape, or form, then yes, there's nothing stopping Drake from pulling the trigger and filing a lawsuit against these corporate entities. But now we really need to talk about what they're suing UMG for, because it's actually not just like one thing. It's not just, oh, you just artificially inflated, Kendrick numbers to make it seem as if he's more popular than he really is. There's a lot to it. First, through a secret deal, the petition claims that UMG agreed to charge Spotify 30% less than normal to license Not Like Us. In exchange, Spotify supposedly agreed to recommend the song to its users, even people who were searching for, unquote, other unrelated songs and artists. Second, through bots, to artificially inflate Spotify and YouTube plays in order to make the song appear more popular than it really was. Third, to pay Apple to direct people using Siri to the song even if they weren't looking for it. Specifically, they mentioned the period in July where users would ask Siri to play Drake's Certified Lover Boy album, but it would instead play Not Like Us. Fourth, by paying to get the song on the radio via the little understood world of independent radio consultants. This is what the Texas petition largely focuses on. And then finally, the fifth one, by paying social media influencers to promote the song and talk about what a huge success it was. I think it's absolutely batshit crazy that Drake for the past several months has really sat down and came up with a lot of conspiracy theories that he believes could possibly be true. I understand corporate companies are going to be corporate companies. It's all about profit at the end of the day. And you're going to have companies that are going to look at this rap beef between Drake and Kendrick and think to themselves, oh my god, we can print some money here. But I don't think they would go as far as to sabotage Drake and only inflate Kendrick's numbers. I really don't see that. I don't see the benefit of shitting on Drake just to make money off of Kendrick Lamar. Because at the end of the day, UMG has both Drake and Kendrick under the label. So it would be in their best interest if both of them thrived. It wouldn't make so much sense to just favor one artist and shit on another. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you hurt one team member in your team to only uplift another for the sake of profit? It doesn't make any sense to me. And if you thought that this was like the last of it, it wasn't, because Drake would apparently go back to back, no pun intended here, with a second action lawsuit against Universal Music Group claiming that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us is defamatory. Drake has filed a second legal petition against Universal Music Group, this time claiming the company should have prevented the release of Kendrick Lamar's blockbuster diss track Not Like Us because it is defamatory, Billboard reports. Drake alleges through the lawyers that the song damages his reputation by, unquote, falsely accusing him of being a sex offender, engaging in pedophilic acts, harboring sex offenders, and committing other criminal sexual activities. The Bexar County, Texas filing also accuses UMG of funneling payments to iHeartRadio in a pay-to-play promotional scheme. So for those that haven't listened to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, the reason why it's such a popular song is because besides it being very catchy and it's a good song, Kendrick Lamar did accuse Drake of being a pedophile. Along with his other accomplices, Drake also has like a bodyguard that may have something to do with prostitution, or at least forcing young women into prostitution some way, at least allegedly. I'm gonna read the lyrics into Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, so in case if you haven't read the lyrics or you never heard of the song before, you're up to speed on what Kendrick said and the magnitude of these accusations, if you will. So Kendrick in this song will go on to say Drake, I heard you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that gets your hand-me-downs. And Party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baca got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Then there's the whole wop, 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 dot, fuck him up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. And it finally ends with, why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and is probably a minor. There's a lot of meaning behind those. It's just Kendrick Lamar just accusing Drake and his entourage, including his bodyguards, of a lot of sexual acts, including those that may be pedophilic. It's a lot that's going on there. You could go to genius.com and just look at the bars and you will actually see like the meaning behind those verses. But we would be sitting here for hours if we were breaking down each and every one of them. So I'll just leave that for you on your free time. Now, Drake is saying that it right here is defamatory. He's never engaged in sexual activities with a minor. He thinks this whole thing has damaged his reputation, is harming his business. People don't want to work with him, yada, yada, yada. Now, there is going to be a lot of conversations on the internet about, is Drake really a pedophile, or is this an extreme accusation, and does Drake really have some legal ground to sue UMG for defamation? Now, I'm not going to argue with you on that front, honestly. I may be wrong as to whether Drake may be a pedophile, but I will definitely say that I agree about the fact that Drake is a creep. I'm going to list to you a few examples that a lot of people bring up whenever Drake being a pedophile and or a creep comes up in a conversation. This is a tweet that we saw that has surfaced for quite some time. We do have Drake from back in 2009 where he tweeted, if amazing was a young bitch, I'd be going to jail. Because I'm fucking amazing. It's so cringe, creepy, but then at the same time, very edgy. Drake was probably around like 22, 23 years old when he made this comment. But still, for him to even say that, it's just something, it's like, are you seriously putting this out in the open space? Like, I don't understand why people say these things. Like, I don't know, what is this going to achieve? Are you trying to make like an edgy joke like, ha, if it was a young girl, you know, I'd be fucking her because I'm amazing. You get what I did there? No, it was not funny. It's not clever. It doesn't look good. It doesn't age well either. And it's already out there on the internet. So, yeah. But if a tweet is very small to you, let me show you a video back in 2010 when Drake was at a concert in Colorado where he had a 17-year-old girl on stage. Check it out.
Just want to thank you.
There's a lot to unpack here. So Drake basically had this young woman on stage and he was dancing with her, groping her and everything. As you can see, he was like kissing her neck and then he's like, wait, hold on. Before I get out of pocket, how old are you? And she says, I'm 17. And he's like, I can't go to jail yet. What you talking about? Why you look like that? You look thick as fuck. Like, it's so weird to even say that. Like, it could have been just clear cut, just, hey, listen, thank you for coming up on stage, but I can't be having you here, I'm sorry, and just leave it at that. Like, just let her go. But no, despite the fact that he knew she was 17, he still doubled down almost a minute later by kissing her hand, kissing her face like 3 times, and then finally kissing her on the lips on stage. Now, before anyone brigades my channel and starts bringing up the age of consent in Colorado because, well, Progeny, you know, the age of consent in Colorado is actually 17, so under that jurisdiction, Drake is actually innocent because, you know, she is 17, so she is consenting to having Drake kiss her and hug her and fondle with her breasts and having him compliment her and everything. That is not the point. It's not the point because Drake literally said, how old are you? She said 17. And Drake, under the assumption that the age of consent is 18, he says, I can't be going to jail yet. Why do you look like this? You look thick as fuck. He is literally sexualizing the body of a 17-year-old girl, even though it was legal under Colorado. That is not the point. Drake was under the impression that the age of consent was 18. He even says, I can't be going to jail yet. And even despite the fact he said that, a minute later, he still goes on to kiss her. Drake was 23, 24 years old at this time. It is absolutely fucking creepy. When people see these things, I wouldn't be surprised if people feel that he may be a pedophile because of things like this. How the fuck do you know that somebody is 17 and you talk about, oh, I could be going to jail, you almost got me wilding out, but you look bad as fuck, I gotta give you a kiss though. That is absolutely insane. And then finally, we have this whole controversy that went on with Drake and Millie Bobby Brown. So for those that don't know about that, Millie Bobby Brown first started talking with Drake when Drake was 31 and she was, I think, 13, 14. And Millie Bobby Brown was talking to Drake and she disclosed that Drake would give her advice on boys or things like of that nature. She hasn't really gotten to the specifics. A lot of people pressed her on what Drake and her talk about in their text messages or in their conversations. And Millie Bobby Brown would say like, hey, that's like none of your business. We'll just keep that in the text conversations between me and Drake. But other than that, Millie Bobby Brown have said a lot of positive things about Drake. She even went as far to say that Drake is fantastic. He's a role model and he's a great human being. And even though Millie Bobby Brown has said some positive things about Drake, that isn't going to stop the internet from side-eyeing Drake. Only because, given the history that we just saw in the previous examples, for Drake being 30 years old to be talking to a 14, 13-year-old girl is going to raise a lot of eyebrows. Now, Millie Bobby Brown has made a statement about this. She has heard of people side-eyeing her and Drake's relationship, and Millie Bobby Brown will go on to say, why you gotta make a lovely friendship your headline? You guys are weird, for real. I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life. You don't get to choose that for me. It's nice to have people understand what I do. Now get back to talking about real problems in this world other than my friendships. G's, with the peace sign emoji. Now, I'm not friends with Millie Bobby Brown, so I'm not gonna know the extent of her friendship with Drake. This is her story to tell, and when she's ready to tell it, she'll tell it like it is. But until then, Millie Bobby Brown has said nothing but positive things about Drake. But given Drake's past, the pattern is still there. Drake is continuously engaging with minors, from the whole tweet about him, fuck if Amazing was a young girl, he'll go to jail because he's fucking amazing, which is so fucking cringe I'm actually saying this, to the whole concert thing and the Millie Bobby Brown situation, Drake is exhibiting a pattern. So yeah, it's no surprise that Kendrick Lamar would make a song Not Like Us and accuse Drake of being a pedophile. There's just a lot to unpack with these lawsuits. To many people, it just feels like a desperate attempt to clear his name, to get the last laugh in this whole beef. And Drake cannot compete with Kendrick Lamar in the rap beef, so of course, Drake is going to take the alternative route and go into this legal battle and say, you know what? I think the corporate entities that run our music is responsible as to why my business is not popping off as much as Kendrick's is. Now, it may not be that deep. UMG just wanted them to publish a song because, well, it makes them money. It's beef. It's free music. We just got multiple diss tracks in a week or two. Like, more diss tracks than we ever could. We are literally living in a time where rapper A can make a song and rapper B can respond to rapper A in less than an hour. Of course, entities are going to be salivating at the thought of that, because the more music that's being produced, the more money they are making. So it goes back to my previous statement earlier in the video as to why it makes no sense that UMG would shit on Drake only to uplift Kendrick when UMG could be making money on both sides. It just doesn't make sense to me here. But hey, what do I know? I'm only a spectator in this whole thing. I'm just looking at this and I just think, again, this is a very desperate attempt by Drake to just clear his name, save his career. Maybe a bit far-fetched, but it's very clear that Drake is really coping. He is inhaling copium right now, and he's looking like the biggest sore loser. I will definitely say that again. Drake is the biggest sore loser right now with these accusations. It's almost outrageous. But let me not say anything. Let's see what happens here. Drake is going to speak with the corporate heads behind Spotify, UMG, and iHeartRadio. These companies are going to have to present documents, and Drake and his legal team is going to look through these documents to see if there's any shady business practices going on that may imply that these companies were inflating Kendrick's numbers and were harming Drake's business at the same time. But other than that, that's really all I have to say. I just thought this whole situation was just blowing up, and I just had to talk about it because I thought this whole beef is over. I thought Drake would just take another L. He's not done. He is not done. Like, he's dead already, and he still keeps getting back up. It is absolutely insane. But other than that, that's about it, y'all. Peace.